Welcome back to the Quick Focus Blueprint program. And how is your focus? It is pretty outstanding, isn't it? And I want to congratulate you, as I always do, and welcome to today's conversation. And so just the idea, as I'm going through these comments, it's interesting how people's focus is actually getting better, even if they're not actually using a technique, but just going through this process for a little over a week now, it actually conditions you to pay attention to your focus. Isn't that interesting? That awareness is a real superpower, that all transformation, positive change begins with some kind of awareness, and just being aware, for example, that you need to observe and concentrate and be present allows you to do so. Similarly to people in our programs that want to remember names, sometimes they'll remember names even without using a technique just because they've gone through this program and they're just more sensory aware, they're more consciously aware of the idea of remembering people's names. And so a lot of transformation begins with awareness. And so what I want to do today is building on your focus cap, right? Your concentration action program. Where does it all start? For me, it starts first thing in the morning. If you want to jumpstart your focus, then start by jumpstarting your brain in the first thing. And that gives you greater levels of productivity and certainly peace of mind. And one of the questions I get all the time, whether I'm doing a Facebook or Instagram live or just coming off stage, is, Jim, what is your morning routine? And the idea here is, as you've heard it said before, that if you could win your morning, you could win your day. And I can't imagine anything more important than really starting your day with a level of focus and concentration, because success breeds success. And there's a science to momentum. And if you could start it out right, you're more likely to be able to carry that throughout the entire day. Because one of the challenges of going through the day is people get tired, and that can really disrupt your focus. People suffer from something called decision fatigue, which basically is a condition that says that you have only a finite amount of good decisions that you can make in a day. And after you're spent, and you can't make any more good decisions. So by creating routines and rituals, especially first thing in the morning, allows you to set up habits early and creates positive momentum, and you have a vision for your day, you have a focus for your day, you have a direction for your day. What I want you to do as I'm going through this lesson with you is make it interactive, and I want you to share with me in the comments your morning routine. How do you jumpstart your day so you can really win that day? So you can have a good morning and a great day. And I'm going to go through a handful of things that I do in my ideal morning routine. I don't always do everything here. And if you heard me mention some of these before in different places, the goal here is you don't want to be a dabbler. You want to master this. And so remember, one of the things that keeps us from learning faster is the idea that we feel like we know it already. But if we're not doing it, I find that we don't know it. So this is just a reminder. And always an overview. So my morning routine looks like this. And again, as I'm going through it, I want you in your journal to write down what your ideal morning routine looks like, or what your current routine looks like. And I want you to please share that with the rest of our community in the comments section so we can learn from one another. The good thing about doing that is it's different than if I give you $1 and you give me $1, we are in the same exact position. But if everybody here shares a brand new idea and everybody else, shares a brand new idea, everyone's sharing a brand new idea, all of a sudden, if it's just 2 people, we have 2 brand new ideas. And if there's 3 of us, there's 3 brand new ideas. And if there's 300 of us, we have 300 brand new ideas. And that's what I mean about team. Together, everyone achieves more. And that's what it stands for. So my morning routine goes like this. I wake up first thing in the morning and I keep my eyes shut and I recall my dreams. And I have a whole process for that. It's a 6-step process. I use an acronym called DREAMS. And the reason why I do that is because when you're learning throughout the entire day, what happens is your brain doesn't shut off at night. Your unconscious still works on solving problems and continues to integrate and consolidate this information, and you come up with sometimes solutions. But when you wake up in the morning, a lot of people forget what they dreamt about, and so that's a real shame. So for more information about that, you could go into our Memory Masterclass program, the memorymasterclass.com. After that, I don't know what you do, but the first thing I do after that is I make my bed. Making your bed is a real success habit. And the reason why is for two reasons. Number one, I believe that how you do anything is how you do everything. And so when you make your bed well, it teaches you how to do everything else well, and it sets a standard. They use it in the military. They're able to maintain a high level of standard. And I think that's good because, again, the science of momentum, success breeds success, and you could build on it. And why not start the day with a win? No matter how simple it is, doing something with excellence, and then you can carry on that standard throughout the entire day in terms of your focus. The other reason why I do that is because when I return at the end of the day, coming back to that well-made bed, and you're kind of coming full circle, it's a success circle, if you will. After that, what I'll do is I'll take a big glass of water, because I find that one of the reasons why we lose focus is because we're dehydrated, and we mentioned that, we've talked about that. So you lose a lot of water at night. And so I take my water, I put some apple cider vinegar in it. I take my probiotics also as well. The reason why is just because your gut is like your second brain. They call it your second brain. You have an incredible amount of nerve cells in there, so you want to make sure you take care of that. From there, what I do is I go brush my teeth. Everybody brushes their teeth. Yeah, but with what I do is actually to enhance my focus, I actually brush my teeth with my opposite hand. Research shows that by using your opposite hand and training your opposite hand actually builds your brain. And it's interesting. And I've quoted studies from Oxford and so on, where as your body moves, your brain grows, you create more white matter in different parts of your brain, and it's pretty powerful. But by using my non-dominant hand, it forces my mindfulness and it forces my focus. And I think that's very important. So it's a great way of jump-starting my brain again. From there, I jump in the shower, and you won't like this, probably some of you, but I take a cold shower. And I think that cold therapy is very important. It's like you hit your knee and then you put ice on it because it reduces swelling and inflammation. And if we have inflammation in our body, and taking a cold shower for me helps to reset my nervous system big time. And so cold, hot is good for your vascular system and so on. And so I like a cold shower. From there, I do some breathing exercises. As I mentioned, your brain is only 2% of your body weight, right? But it requires 20% of the nutrients and oxygen. And so I do a series of breathing techniques to fully oxygenate my body and my brain. And one of the challenges when people are working, they lose focus because their posture, and what happens is they slump and they collapse their diaphragm. And the thing is the lower 1/3 of your lungs absorbs 2/3 of the oxygen. And so some people lose their focus because they suffer from a mental fog. And one of the reasons is they're just not getting enough oxygen there. So whatever breathing techniques you might have been trained in or learned from, anything from box breathing to alpha breathing to Wim Hof method, deep conscious breathing. Also in the morning, I do a meditation, and I'm not going to go in detail right here in terms of how I meditate. I know some of you already do that. You have a mindfulness training. I find some of the most highly productive, highly focused individuals have some level of incorporate some kind of mindfulness training. I meditate twice a day for 20 minutes, and that's very important for me. I do it in the morning, and I also do it in the evening as well. And it helps to clear your mind so that you could have better focus, so you could have a nice reset, if you will. One of the other things that I do in the morning is I make sure that I move for about 4 minutes or so, and I do some intense movements. It can be anything from calisthenics, jumping jacks, crunches, burpees, push-ups, pull-ups. And I do that just because it enhances, first of all, it's good to get blood flow, right? Whatever's good for your heart, it's good for your head and gets the blood flow going, which drives oxygen, obviously, to your brain, which is important to focus. And also the studies that we mentioned prior to this, it helps you also sleep at night by doing some intense workout. It can be short, even 4 minutes in the morning. Then from there, I make a good tea. For me, I like having tea in the morning, and I make a combination of gotu kola, ginkgo, lion's mane, some MCT oil, and some other gems. I make like a brain tea, if you will. Part of my ritual, I grew up drinking tea, and this is kind of a focused tea that helps to stimulate my brain, increases my focus throughout the day. While I'm drinking my tea, one of the things I do is I go into my focus journal, and we've been talking about journaling every single day and putting your notes in there. And I also find that some of the most incredible geniuses, and when I say geniuses, I'm not talking about IQ, I'm just meaning highly accomplished individuals in their industry. And throughout history, Leonardo da Vinci, Einstein, Edison, Marie Curie, they all wrote in journals, and they're priceless. And so is it because they're geniuses that they journal, or is it because they're journaling and taking and making notes that they turn into these geniuses? And I like writing in journals. It helps me to focus. And so I would encourage you to maintain your focus notebook in your journal. And I like handwriting because studies suggest that handwriting is better than typing for many reasons, as I've talked about in other programs. While I'm going through that, I'm drinking my tea and I'm journaling, writing down what things I'm most grateful for. I start going into my to-do list. Specifically, I know most people have a large to-do list of all the things they want to accomplish. For me, I really focus on 3 personal things and 3 professional things in terms of goals. Ultimately, I noticed in my personal history that I don't need to accomplish the 100 things on my to-do list. What I do want to do, pick 3 personal goals that day and 3 professional goals. And they don't have to be really, really huge. My friend Clay Bear, who's one of our speakers at our conference, he talks about the 6-word intro, and he's famous for that. He also calls this a champagne moment. A champagne moment. It's like, what can I accomplish that will make me feel like I crushed it at the end of the day and I could celebrate? And I would just say 3 personal and 3 professional things. And that's what I write down and I circle, and that's my goal. So I don't have to do everything. But if I got these 3 things done, I could feel like I won. It's very manageable. And again, they don't have to be all huge achievements. It could be just going for a walk for 45 minutes as a personal goal. I also kind of check in with my other lists. I also have like a to feel list, like a to be list, like who do I want to be today? Do I want to be a good partner, a good friend, a good leader, a good teacher, a good coach? As they say, we're not human doings, we're human beings. So I don't want to just hope that my day brings these things in terms of what I do or what I want to be or what I want to feel. A lot of us, we are what we feel, but I don't want to just feel a certain way by accident, but I'd rather do it by design. And you and I can decide every single morning what to focus on, because again, focus is reality. And so maybe you have a to feel list and you want to feel loved and you want to feel curious. You want to feel gratitude. You want to feel connected. You want to feel bewildered, right? And so starting the day with that intention makes a big difference, because you'll be looking for that also. We don't rely on just hoping these things happen, because you're not a thermometer. You don't just react to the environment. You're a thermostat. You set a standard. You set a goal to do, to feel, to be, and the environment and the world changes accordingly. And what I'm doing after that is I start reading. And I think this is very important, because when we're talking about the power of focus, you want to make sure that you're a gatekeeper to the doors of your mind. And I always like to feed my brain, and I do it with podcasts and I do it with different stimulus. And one of the things I love too is reading, because reading is such great exercise. I find that if I could get 20-30 minutes of good reading in the morning, it really sets my momentum. I mentioned that the time I've spent with actor Will Smith. He says, Jim, I do 2 things, every single day. I read and I run. I mean, think about it. You feed your brain and you feed your body. You exercise both. So I would encourage people to schedule reading, especially if you are more of a morning person. Great way to stimulate your brain. And again, you don't have to do everything on my list. This is what I choose to do, what sets me up for success. What I want to know is, in the comments section, what's your more ideal morning routine? What do you do? What's 1, 2, 3, or even your entire schedule of what you do every single morning? And I would love for you to be able to share that. And so from there, I like to start with my most difficult task first. And that's just me. Everybody has a different strategy on what to accomplish. We're going to talk about that a little bit in this program in terms of what do you start with. And some people like to start with the easy things so they can build some momentum. Other people like to start with the most difficult thing on their list because they have the most energy and they want to win big, and they take the biggest thing on their list. And so I'm curious also, what do you like to do? Which is your strategy? Do you like to start with something small and build some momentum and build some check marks ahead of time and build up to something bigger? Or do you like to tackle the big thing first? For me, I like to tackle the big thing first, and that really works for me. So that's my morning. I don't get to do every single thing, just like everybody. We have things that come up, and traveling and different appointments and so on. What I would love to know, again, is in the comments section, share with the rest of our community, our focus community here. What do you do to jumpstart your brain, jumpstart your focus, jumpstart your day? Either what you're currently doing or what is your ideal morning routine? What does that schedule look like? Because again, if you could win the first hour of your day, you have a very good shot of winning the rest of the day with sharpened focus, deep concentration, and a real confidence to be able to win. So thank you so much for playing full out in this lesson. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye now.